And we're back. You guys have no idea what we do just before showtime. It is, of course, the Lakers Fast Break podcast. It's Gerald Glassford. It's a snack pack, everyone. Go ahead and make sure you like all the stuff we do. All the people out there, there you go. Magic Man's got his snacks. There you go. We're in for a good one. It is, of course, Gerald Glassford, along with the Magic Man, Sean Grice. Go ahead and make sure you like and subscribe. Subscribe today to get the latest notifications on when we go live on the air with the latest Lakers Fast Break podcast. Also, as well, you can become a member for just $2.99 a month. That's always helpful indeed. Of course, all of our good friends, including John Costa, Clutch Talk and Lakers Corner. Stone Hansen. I had lunch with Stone Hansen today. Go ahead and make sure you get him at report_court on Twitter. And his show, the Upside Swings NBA Draft Podcast, at Alfred Esmond on Twitter. He is a great resource. He's come on the show many times. Legend. From I Got Next Sports Media, of course, also as well, Daniel Berry Sports Highlights. Also as well, Empire Jeff TV. He's on right now. I think defending to a lot of people from what I was hearing. Yes, he was in the room, I think was what he kept on saying. Yes, right there, defending Rob. If you want to go ahead and check that out after our show, he can use all the help he can get, just like us. Like and subscribe to him, Empire Jeff TV, covering the Lakers and the Dodgers. Joe Sorrell, he'll probably meander on by, but I want to give him a shout out. Don't forget Corrupt on the summer Steam sale. That's $5, 80% off on Steam. COREUPT. Simblades with a Y.com, and also as well, of course, his channel, the Joe Sorrell channel on YouTube, and also as well, the Joe Sorrell Experiment on Playback. So go ahead and like all these great things, all these great places, all these great people. The Lakerholics, Laker Tom. I'm surprised I've not heard or seen in the group text for the Lakerholics any messages in regards to Laker Tom being sent to a local hospital. I'm very surprised on that. He is probably livid at this point at Rob Pelinka. So I would just love to see, I would love to get him and Empire Jeff in a room, Magic Man. I would love to get him and Empire Jeff in a room or on the show at the same time so they could go back and forth on the...
Please, Gerald, let's get Joe and Tom together.
I don't know about that one. That one might really be... I don't want to put or be responsible for putting Laker Tom in the hospital. If Laker Tom dies during the course of the show, guess who gets sued?
Gerald, why would you be solely responsible for the life of Tom?
You know how it is in society. They always get the guy. I mean, my gosh, you only have to look at the.
But wouldn't the Wong estate sue the Sorrow estate, not the Glassford estate?
I would be the accessory to the crime. I hosted the platform.
I'd rather sue Joe than sue Gerald. That would be fun.
Yeah, no, I would have led to this as far as I'm concerned. But it is, of course, Laker Tom and the Lakerholics, Lakerholics.com. Yeah, if you guys want to go ahead, give the Lakerholics a shout out and ask Laker Tom to step on Empire Jeff show or have them both come on here so we can go back and forth on Rob Pelinka. Because one defends Rob Pelinka and one probably wants to kill Rob Pelinka. Right. Theoretically, of course, not actually kill Rob Pelinka, but Laker Tom is upset right now. I could just tell. Sean. I could just tell. His tweets are becoming a little bit more angry.
Gerald knows the cryptic anger of one Laker Tom.
That's true indeed. But of course, also as well, please go ahead and make sure you like and subscribe to get the latest notifications. We've had a lot of people come on to the channel, a lot of new viewers, new listeners. Cannot thank you enough for stopping by. Go ahead and make sure you check us out each and every time out right here at the Lakers Fast Break Podcast. Forget that Jovan Buha stuff. Although he tries hard now that he's away from the Athletic, he's doing his own thing. Got to give him a shout out and credit for that. But don't forget about Jovan Buha for now. That's okay. Forget about all those other Lakers channels, Lakers Nation, all that stuff. You go ahead. You come home. We'll embrace you. We'll give you a nice warm Lakers hug right now, amidst all the pain and suffering of the Rob Pelinka era. and the Rob Pelinka indecision and inactivity, and maybe waiting for his latest 2027 if you read the reports. But we'll always comfort you here, except for Joe, right here at the Lakers Fast Break Podcast. Well, the Lakers once again, another day in free agency down, another day of activity or inactivity by Rob Pelinka, which has angered Lakers fans even more. And Sean and I, as we came into this period of time, we said the Lakers need to act now, get while there's a window that's available. But it seems a little bit more that the Lakers are, according to reports, leaning to holding on to a lot of their assets to make clear a lot of salary cap decisions to be made in 2026 or 2027. So with that, one of the few options that are left out there as far as the center position, Deandre Ayton, supposedly will make his decision tomorrow. I believe he clears waivers, again, as I mentioned earlier, Wednesday at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern, if I'm not mistaken. Could be Eastern, 2 p.m. Anyways, it's 2 p.m. something. So if that's the case, we should know by then a direction he is heading. If that's the case, even if he's heading here, is that really going to make a outstanding difference? So I'm going to talk about Sean, about Rob Pelinka. Is he doing this just because he wants the team to have a better direction going forward on that other timeline Rich Paul was talking about? Or is he doing this as a way to facilitate LeBron leaving sooner rather than possible if he gets mad enough with the inactivity this summer? I'm going to talk about that with Magic Man. And is Deandre Ayton really a difference maker? We're going to discuss that on the show as well. But Magic Man is here. He is the madman from Toronto. He did get out of Toronto traffic to stop on by to talk about the whole goings on with the Lakers organization. It is not Rob Pelinka's biggest fan in the world. It is the Magic Man, Sean Grice. Sean, great to have you here. We're starting to get some people in, transitioning from maybe Empire Jeff or Jovan Buha, or whoever was on at 9 o'clock. We're the 10 o'clock hour. I was told to go on. Vard was telling me, guys, you guys were so popular. Yeah, no, guys, with his Australian accent. I could just hear it, as he was writing it out. You guys were so hot last night at 1 o'clock in the morning. You had over 100 people out there watching you. It's great. It was great. I was like, yes. So we'll go on a little bit later just for you. I was going to go on a little bit earlier, but going on a little bit later. Appreciate Magic Man himself staying up late for this. Your thoughts on what's gone on so far? Again, these guys have heard me ad nauseum each and every show talking about my disappointment that the Lakers are not making a bigger sense of urgency out of all this. They are seeing other teams load up. Denver, that discussion we had last year is now going to be moot because now I'm going to be in agreement with you that the Denver Nuggets now have a sufficient bench. We talked about Houston that has loaded up. We've talked about Minnesota that has done things to go ahead and solidify their position. OKC is still OKC. We've seen other teams make the Clippers added a little bit of bench depth. Plus, they retain of course, the Beard as well. In the East, Atlanta has done an amazing job. If I was, legend right now as far as an Atlanta fan, I'm sure he's giddy. The fact that they've really gone out of the way to do some really good things. Orlando has made some moves. The most interesting moves of the day were done by the Milwaukee Bucks, who signed Miles Turner, Laker Tom's favorite center, to a 4-year, 100. I hope this will end Lakers Tom's fascination. I really hope this will end Tom's fascination. Probably not, but a man can hope. 4 years, $107 million. But in the process, they waived and stretched Damian Lillard. It's going to be about 5 years at $22 million per, which on the surface seems like a really ouchy thing to do, but you might have to consider it because the fact is you would not have been able to get Miles Turner otherwise. So now you've got a viable center on your team at the cost of making yourself look bad because you just kicked Damian Lillard to the curb. Your thoughts on the day today, how these teams are loading up before we really get into criticization, or sorry, evaluation of Rob Pelinka. Almost let that word slip there. Whoops. He was in the room. Go ahead.
Gerald, I would say the byline in the Indiana Sun tomorrow might be desperate times call for desperate measures because this comes off screaming desperation.
And I'll just say this: DeAndre Ayton may not be a sure thing to the Lakers now that center spot is open in Indiana, center spot is open in Golden State, and I think a couple other places as well.
Absolutely, and not only that, Gerald, the those teams you mentioned all have access to the full not NTMLE, whereas the Lakers only have a partial access to it. So Aiton can make more money elsewhere, as well as getting more or equal playing time. That being said, Gerald, I think this takes Giannis off the market for at least 2 years. I think the Bucks have a 2 year window here where they could try and make this work between him and Turner and build around them because they have holes to fill as well.
And
They've
that's the thing that Intel, I think, was alluding to because he has said in the super chat, thank you so much for the super chat. How can the Bucks be competitive over the next 5 years, not having 22.5 million is the exact number
yeah.
to spend for 5 consecutive seasons? I mean, it works in the way that they got their center, but they can't really build much else because they have no assets or little to no assets, and they have little to no funds because that 22.5 million, it's like, okay, you're trying to borrow from Peter to pay Paul because while this might work for you for getting Miles Turner, this is probably going to just kick your ass later on down the road.
Yeah, Gerald. I think at minimum 3 years down the road, they're going to think, why did we do this? Like, we were in desperate streets here. Why the hell did we do this? That being said, that they're going all in here. But, Gerald, I wouldn't even put the Bucks in my top 3 or 4 teams in the East I think would come out of there, even with a move like this. I think they would have to get very fortunate in a bracket to avoid maybe a couple teams that have considerably better talent on the perimeter that I think would really be a problem for the Bucks because that's the area on the court where they're vastly undermanned and there is a bereft of talent. Uh, you can't you can't go into the playoffs with Kevin Porter Jr. or Gary Trent Jr. being your point guard. I use that loosely because KPJ is more of a point wing. I wouldn't even call him a point forward. He's more of a point wing. He's got a lot of guard skills, but he is not somebody who should have the ball in his hands for 18 of those 24 seconds, Gerald, because he's prone to turnovers. He's prone to lapses of focus. And so the Bucks have areas to address still, even with this move.
Yes, a lot of things. Yeah, I don't think getting Miles Turner is the be all end all. Just like I don't think DeAndre Ayton is the be all end all for the Lakers. And believe me, we'll get into this here with DeAndre Ayton. But yes, that's the thing that's going on with Milwaukee. I understand it's a week in East, but I would still put them no higher than 5th, to be honest with you, in Milwaukee. And that is if you have Giannis Antetokounmpo. Now, according to reports, Chris Haynes was saying that Giannis is none too pleased about the way they just kicked Damian Lillard to the curb. Yes, I understand it's to get a center that stretches the floor and plays alongside you. That's great and all that, similar to what Brook Lopez did for him. That was their shot blocking 3-point center So you got a shot blocking 3-point center. I get that. But a lot of the league talks to each other, Sean. A lot of the league sees what's going on. And while you've made one player of the union happy, there's also the fact that you pissed off everyone in Indiana because of Miles Turner leaving, but sending a message to Indiana, they better start spending into the tax or else they'll lose a lot more players in the future. But B, to the players around the NBA, they see this as far as a business move, but they also see it as it's pretty cold-hearted, man, when you take a look at it. It's unless Damian Lillard said he was cool with it so he could go back home to Portland, I really think that, this is, it's business, but sometimes business can be cold.
Gerald, this trade has all the elements of like Hamlet and the Unforgiven, where everybody dies. That's what I'm getting out of this. Like this couldn't have turned out worse for Lillard. This couldn't have turned out worse for, I think, the Bucks long term. And now the Pacers really get screwed over here, Gerald, because it's your biggest rival. Like, I don't think people really understand this. This would be like if the Clippers decided, oh, you know what? We're going to instead of trading Avika Zubats, we're just going to take him from you. That similarly, but this would have been if Zubats was in his prime, and the Lakers had the cap space, but decided not to sign him. Because Gerald, as we saw reports, Jake Fisher said that the Pacers offered Turner a contract of no more than $20 million per year, and for a guy that helped you get to the NBA Finals, I think it would have behooved you to increase that just a little bit. If you increased it just a little bit, I think Miles Turner would have stayed with Indiana. But yeah, this really sets the Pacers back, I think, at least 3 years, Gerald, because next year is a wash. And I think the year after is going to be probably more of a developmental year with Halliburton and some of the young players that they have. So they're going to have to look for a big as well. Now, does Deandre Ayton get the Pacers to say a conference semifinals or finals? No, I don't think so. So I think in the short term, we're going to have to live with the idea that Ayton's likely going to be a Warrior or a Laker drill. I don't think the Pacers would be a fit for him.
I'm just informing like Intel and Sports Baby about Bobby Bonilla Day. And by the way, happy Bobby Bonilla Day to you, my friend.
Happy Bobby Bonilla Day.
Yes,
it's Canada.
guys.
It's Canada Day here, Gerald. So Canada Day is also Bobby.
Well, no,
Bonilla
it's
Day.
it's actually Bobby Bonilla Day. He for the next 10 years trumps. Sorry, pardon the pun there. Supersedes Canada on that. My apologies to all my Canadian friends and brothers. But for 10 years, because he gets $1 million a year until 2035, a little over $1 million a year, like 1.1 or something like that.
1.19, yeah.
Yep, 1.19. Must be nice.
Right see there. See it on your bank account.
1st of July. Yeah, 1st of July, you get that check in the mail. Must be nice. Must be nice. But it is, of course, the Lakers fast break. It is the
Gerald, Gerald, I have a question for you. Over under Mets World Series or Bobby Bonilla payments run out. 2035.
I've already been mean to Canada already on this show. Do I have to be mean to the Mets too? All right, I'm gonna say Bobby Bonilla if the well runs dry on that one. Homelander's asking, are we getting Deandre Ayton or not? I will say this. It is possibility. It is not definitive because the Lakers cut into a little bit of that salary cap. I think he'll still be offered right around 9 or 10 is what he negotiated as far as his buyout is concerned. So the Lakers can offer up to that if they so choose. The thing is he going to the Lakers? That's the question, because now Indiana has now become in the contender house as far as if they want to go ahead and do. You said that they can actually sign DeAndre Ayton and not go into the tax, which is obviously going to be very interesting to see. Also, as well, they can go ahead and he can go move over to Golden State or move to Lakers. This is how desperate things have become for the Lakers. This is why I think you and I have a lot of critiques, per se. We do not apologize for Rob Pelinka. The personnel decision making over the course of the years, which has been, quite frankly, all over the place, no one can defend it. There is no one that can defend that he has been. And of course, no GM is infallible. But when it comes to DeAndre Ayton, would you classify him as a draft success, a draft disappointment, or a draft bust, being him the number one pick in the Luka draft?
Ooh. It's kind of harsh, Gerald.
I'm just saying, what do you see him as? A draft success, a draft disappointment, or a draft bust?
If given the choices there, I would say disappointment. You were
I would
number
put him in
one.
the disappointment. Yeah, as a number one, he has
You're
been
number one. You have been disappointment.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
Prone to lapses of focus, concentration, Gerald. His motor was a problem probably when he was back in the Bahamas. It could be Gerald. Lakers
And of course,
signed.
by the way, all the dirty laundry is coming out of the wash after he leaves. By the way, if you've seen the reports that talk about
Yeah.
his tantrums in the locker room with coaching staff, things of that nature, which always comes about after that individual leaves. Of course, the Black Ice saga, he can't really defend himself on. I just, the fact that it would have been nice if you would have called your organization and told them, hey, see, maybe you could get me some help out there to get over there. But again, we're dealing a lot with young men, and sometimes young men are prone to making young men mistakes. So, but DeAndre Ayton is not a cure-all. If we sign him tomorrow, it's not a cure-all. It's a stopgap. If it's a 2-year deal or a 3-year deal, what have you. But it's still something where he has to play at a better level than he has ever played before if it's going to take the Lakers to be at a sustainable position where they were second, third, fourth in the West. Because if they don't have sustained improvement, it's going to be really hard for the Lakers to keep up, especially because the arms race in the past few days has really gotten really big with Minnesota, Denver, the Clippers, and Houston as well.
Absolutely. And I'll also say that if you do sign DeAndre Ayton, you're now going to have a situation where you have 3 players on the court, likely in crunch time, that have questionable Gerald conditioning issues. You'd have DeAndre Ayton, you'd have Luka, and you'd have LeBron. Now, LeBron's is a different scenario because at that point he'd be 41 years old, and we've seen the past 4 playoffs, Gerald, that LeBron has run out of steam in the fourth quarter in very highly contested basketball games. Adding in DeAndre Ayton plus the unknown that is Luka is not a cure-all, Gerald. I agree. And to be frank, and just being honest here, if you were to rank the Lakers in terms of talent right now, the Lakers would at best be 7th. I wouldn't slot them 7th. I would slot them 9th. But right now, I think the Lakers would have the 7th most talented roster in the West. You have OKC, Houston, Minnesota, Denver, the Clippers, Gerald, and that other team. So you've got a lot of competition, Gerald, and they all got better except you. Every single one of them got better.
Osmosis, I'll just say this. He said them, Ayton, Gabe Reeves, and Dalton Laravia lineups are going to feast on defense. Maybe if you look at it a different way, some people might say the defense might feast on them, or at least the offenses might feast on their defense, because I don't know how inspiring that is to you, Sean. That's not inspiring to me. Again, Laravia, you know, people, I think you are somewhat more confident in Laravia's abilities than others, myself included. What I've seen from Memphis, I can't say I was overly impressed with. Again, he's getting a better opportunity here, so I'm hopeful that that's the case. But when DFS leaves to a 4-year contract, despite the fact of how old he'll be at the end of that contract, people take notice. People take notice of the fact that you traded him in January to get him, and now you traded an expiring asset and also 3 second-round draft choices. Those are assets that you no longer have because of what just walked out the door, and you got nothing else for it, unless there's a sign and trade. That's still maybe, but I mean, the more days we don't hear about a sign and trade, the less chance that it might happen. But be that as it may, again,
And Gerald,
Rob.
the
Okay, go ahead.
yeah, the basketball court. Sorry to interrupt you, my friend, but the basketball court is still 94 feet. And last time I checked, you got to play both ends of the floor, going back and forth. And
Yes,
let
but
me tell
how well does this team play on both ends of the
fed to
court
the
is the
court.
question.
And ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry to say this, but I'll just start it off because I think me and Gerald will be mentioning it a lot. Jake Laravia and Deandre Ayton walking into the door, Gerald, dude, doesn't help our transition defense. I'm just letting people know right now, ahead of time. Spoiler, they do not help improve the transition defense. So they better feast on defenses in transition because going the other way, it ain't pretty.
Yep, absolutely. Intel's looking to see if he can get Amir Coffey, who played with the Clippers. Most people might know him from there. He is available. So is Ben Simmons. And again, Deontay Melton still coming back from the injury. I mean, the options, there become fewer and fewer. But right now, in the fact that there's a lull. So I'm assuming that all the GMs have packed up for the evening. I want to ask you this, though. The title of the show, are the Lakers really trying to win this season? Are they trying to punt the season? Or are they just trying to piss off LeBron with the direction that they're heading? And if that's the case, does LeBron get mad enough to say, you know what, I want to go somewhere else. I know I have a no trade clause, so I get to choose where I want to go, but I want to go somewhere else. Under no circumstances should there be a buyout, because I know I've heard in the past 48 hours some people starting dropping the word buyout when it comes to LeBron James. Absolutely no way. You cannot reward him by allowing him to pick up the option of $52.6 million and then buying him out and getting nothing in return. You just got nothing in return for DFS. There should be no way you would let LeBron buy him, buy out. I don't care how Joe, if you would say, yeah, I want him gone first plane out of here, whatever. You cannot lose an asset like that if he wants to leave and get nothing in return. So buyout should not be any kind of option.
I agree. It shouldn't be even a consideration.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. So let me ask you this. With this planned direction, the rumored reports that they're waiting for 2027 or even 2026, where they'll have cap space for both those years, that seems like a pretty big wait for a team as expensive now, $12 billion expensive maybe, or a team as high profile as the Lakers, especially the fact that you have not locked up Luka long term. People just take it for granted that Luka is going to be signing
Hmm.
and extending when it's offered to in August, almost like it's a matter of fact. I don't think it's such. You need to show these players these days that there is viable opportunities to succeed sooner as well as later. And I'm not sure they're doing that the case. And if this case is just all about making LeBron angry, I could probably say somewhere in Southern California, LeBron is probably not a happy camper right now.
He definitely can't be happy at all, Gerald. That being said, he for somebody who constantly peppers himself with positive attributes. Calls himself the beautiful mind, and he is obviously smart enough and aware enough to know that his salary and his production, while positive, prevents the Lakers from doing exactly what he says he was looking for, and that's to win again. Gerald, at no point in this tenure with the Lakers, from the time he signed up until now, has he ever really raised an eyebrow or any of his passive aggressive tweets to suggest that he's unhappy with what the Lakers are doing. And the Lakers have had some really poor squads assembled around LeBron James. So at this point in time, if he says enough's enough, okay, man, enough's enough. Oh, we'll try and find you a trade partner. But by the
Because
way,
this is not the worst. This is not, even in its current state, it's not the worst supporting cast for LeBron.
not at all. That would have to probably go to the 2022-2023
You mean the
roster.
2011 All-Star team? That's right. Okay, yeah.
Yes,
I forget
yes.
about that.
This squad might be a close second, ladies and gentlemen. We'll have to see the squad on the court. That being said, Gerald's correct. It's not the worst the Lakers have put around him, so we can't say that either. But I mean, like Gerald also said, if he throws up his hands and said, Jake LaRavia and Deandre Ayton, really, really, guys, he might throw up his hands, Gerald.
Well,
He
I
just
mean,
might.
he knows. Forever bad things that a lot of people say, Joe says, or whatever, whoever says, you don't become a billionaire for nothing. This is a very intelligent individual, LeBron James is, and he sees what's going on right now in the landscape of the NBA. He has been watching, I'm sure, what's going on as far as the different teams making different moves, making different transactions. A lot of them looking to better their team, a lot of them with what you could perceive and what you could go ahead and state are all in moves that are trying to go ahead and win now, win next year. Because I think they see what you and I see. Yeah, I understand about waiting until Mark Walters takes over and all that, and that great day when Joe Soro comes in and as he's coming in now.
Yeah, Gerald. It's gonna be like, remember that Game of Zones when the coronation of the Lakers? That's what it's gonna be, right? The coronation.
Well, he is here.
Gonna have golden flakes falling from the sky, and Sorrow and Empire Jeff will be there with the palms for Walters.
Joe Poro's biggest fan is here. It is the guy I talked about, SimBlades.com. Also, his game Corrupt, which is 80% off right now on Steam. It is Joe Soro, not Joe Poro. Joe, good to have you here. I thought you were going to drive home and then get to the office, man. You could have waited for minutes, or did you just pull over because you want to yell at me and Sean?
Yes, I don't know where the hell this buyout shit came from. I'm already reeling from the fact that people think LeBron is going to get traded off of zero information, and now you're talking buyout. Like, where do you guys come up with this shit?
You don't actually, obviously, don't watch YouTube, so I will just leave it at
YouTube
that. You don't listen to podcasts.
Nuts.
You don't listen to other shows. So
no, I don't.
That's good.
Trash.
Okay. We do. We actually go out and we see what the NBA experts and analysts are saying.
Hold on, I'm
on
going
a
to eat like
daily
Sean
basis.
does. Hold on. Good stuff. Look, I made a pact with myself today. I'm going to speak very positive because Sharon's watching. Sharon doesn't like our negativity, or at least my negativity. So today I'm going to
I just call it like it is. Whether you say
Yeah,
it's negative
exactly.
or positive, I just call it like it is. That's all I do.
call it like it is. About buyouts for
like
LeBron James?
I'm just telling you that it has been mentioned
What dipshit
quite frequently
on YouTube mentioned anything about something like that? I'm curious now.
Kevin O'Connor, as far as on
O'Connor
Yahoo,
mentioned it. Yeah.
Yovan Buha, also as well ESPN.
I mean, let's be honest here. The idea of the Lakers amnestying Kobe was brought up as well, so it's not that far fetched.
That was Mark Cuban talking out his ass like he does every other day of his life.
He wasn't the only one talking about that. Was floated in ESPN.
Who? Bill Simmons? Is that the other schmuck that was talking like that? Those idiots just say that just because they're bitches. Come on, you guys gotta stop watching those guys.
Joe, I got a long memory.
It's a possibility, Joe. If he does get pissed off enough, he may ask for a buyout.
He might.
And the Lakers, under no circumstances, should ratify that request.
Are you guys smoking something tonight? Like, seriously, what's going on here?
Joe, you really just don't. I'm glad you stay in your
buyout?
cave and you come out like once a day just to do the show. I'm so happy and thankful that you do that.
A buyout. The guy's been in the league 22 years. All of a sudden now he's going to want to be traded or bought out.
Well, it's obvious that the Lakers are not doing things enough to go ahead and contend for a title next season.
Yeah, and the reason why they can't is because of him. Because he makes too much money.
They have assets. They have things that they can move to make this team better.
They have the first three letters in that word. Ass. That's what they have. Nothing. They have nothing right now. Who? Reed? We've had this discussion already.
Expiring contracts. They have one or two.
Who has more hand? Who has more hand in this relationship, LeBron or the Lakers? LeBron. LeBron has more hand.
This team doesn't have assets. It's got expiring contracts.
Yeah, because the asshat who is in charge right now dumped all our assets.
A subscriber. Thank you so much for subscribing. Truly appreciate it. Intel Wild says maybe we haven't seen everything or anything is because King James is going to get traded soon. Well, again, he's got to.
Let me read that again. King, wasn't that King Biachis?
Yes, I'll let you say that. So.
Well, can you put it back up so I can read it?
All right, let me go ahead and grab. Thank you again for the super chat, Intel. Here it is. Maybe we haven't seen anything is because King.
Maybe we have. Okay, gonna trade soon. No, I don't. I just no. I think what's the likelihood is they're still working on stuff right now. We're gonna know a little bit more tomorrow, and maybe a little bit more the day after. And then you guys are gonna blame Pelinka for not doing anything when there's a possibility that he might be under orders to not do too much because of what's going to be happening here.
We can't speculate on that, Joe. Come on now. You and Empire Jeff love playing the Stockholm syndrome.
No. When a new owner comes in, there are when they're about to come in, there's stipulations sometimes. What do you guys want him to do? What do you want Rob to do with Joe, Austin Reeves and Rui?
So, Joe, let me ask you a question. Okay, so Pelinka and Magic are running the Lakers, and the first move that's made is that LeBron is signed and Brook Lopez walks. That's the first iteration of the mistakes that Pelinka has made constructing a roster around LeBron James because, I don't know. Let's see, the past 15 years, he's had Big Z. Then he had Chris Bosh. Then he had Kevin Love. But you know what? We're just going to drop the big who could shoot threes. This guy can't build a fucking IKEA cabinet from scratch, man. And people want him to build an NBA championship roster. He can fuck off. You can't even sign Jake LaRavia to a biannual exception. You got to eat into the MLE. You stupid, incompetent man.
The team.
You shouldn't be running. Hold on. You shouldn't be managing a Publix, let alone running the Los Angeles Lakers. Give me a break.
Everything was fine.
Yeah, that diploma he's got from the University of Michigan, Joe, you know what he can do with it? He can wipe his ass with it because that's what it's worth.
Go ahead.
Everything
Joe.
was fine in 2020, 2021 until obviously AD got hurt. Everything went down south once they made the biggest mistake ever in 2022. That's when everything was going. If you guys are going to keep thinking about the Zubac trades and letting no one saw Brook Lopez turning into a Defensive Player of the Year candidate and hitting threes left and right. He wasn't doing that in LA. And that was they had assembled a great team. They won a championship. They were on their way to win back-to-back until one of their main guys got hurt. And they should have listened to that guy that got hurt that year.
What's your excuse for him letting Caruso walk?
That was a genie
or
bust money.
trading away the championship team. I'm tired of people making excuses for other people. I'm really tired of it. This is why.
Thank you for subscribing.
This is why mediocrity is allowed to run amok. Because everybody has an excuse for why somebody else can't do a job, right, Joe and Jeff? Everybody's got an excuse for somebody else.
It's not an excuse.
But when it comes to you and your job or Jeff's job, if somebody wants to criticize what you guys do, Gerald, I've had the problems with the cap and new ownership and nobody gives a fuck. Nobody's interested in something you didn't do. Nobody gives a shit who finished in second. Nobody cares.
This is all.
It's all excuses for him.
The residue.
And I've had enough of it. I'm not putting up with it. Neither is Gerald.
Yeah, but Gerald always has complained about everything, even when things are good.
But you've got an excuse for everything that Pelinka does. It's
Joe.
one excuse after another.
I'm not making an excuse for him.
I bring valid arguments.
Gerald, excuse me, Joe. Me and Gerald have just been sitting here listening to Empire Jeff use the same fucking talking points you have about Pelinka. You guys are just making excuses for him.
I'm not making
just
an
going
excuse.
to say this.
Yes.
No, I'm not. You
Joe,
can't.
shut up for a second because you went off on me to saying I complain about everything. I bring evaluation with a longer list of experience than you, Sean, or Empire Jeff. So I know basketball more than you, Sean, or Empire Jeff, if you go by length of tenure watching the game of basketball. So when you say I complain about everything, that is incorrect. I evaluate everything and give you my evaluation of it. Whether it agrees with you what you say or not, it is what it is. I'm allowed my opinion and evaluation, and in doing so, more often than not on this channel, and it has been documented because it's in the cloud, it's in Google. They've got it wherever they at, where it's, at their offices in Seattle, wherever they put the hard drives. It's there for you to watch. And more often than not, I've been right on this channel more than anyone else. So don't tell me that I complain about everything. I give evaluations, and more times than not, they're on the button, Joe.
I'll tell you what you haven't done. And none of you two dinkleheads have given any credit for when he has done things right. Particularly February 1.
That's absolutely incorrect.
That is completely false. That
is so much bull.
That is completely
erroneous. It is so much bull That's so much bull. That's came out of your
Erroneous
mouth
on both
right now.
counts.
No, you're erroneous on your count.
You
Joe,
are, because we
a
have given him
bogus
his
lie.
flowers.
No,
We have given him his
I have
flowers.
repeatedly said Rob got the deal done and should take credit for it and get credit for it. I've repeatedly said that.
Yeah, and then you
made
put
the
it in your
trade,
briefcase and threw it on the other side of the room. You don't think that
you're
the
getting no
Luka
credit
trade
right now from us.
shifted? You don't think the Luka trade shifted the entire
Okay, all
era
right.
of
So
basketball for the Lakers?
Gerald, let's get it on the
Again,
record.
that's
No,
one
Gerald,
one transaction over a body of work.
Gerald, let's give the baby. Let's give the baby his bottle. Let's give the baby his bottle. Okay.
All right, I'll heat it up, man.
Congratulations, Rob Pelinka. You were sitting in your office, likely with your hand on your dick, and the phone rang.
He wasn't,
it was Nico Harrison who brought up, "Hey, you interested? Shut up, Sorrow. You
3
interested?
weeks?
Come on, man." Nico is the one who picked up the phone, not the other way around. Stop trying to do this again.
How do you know
I love these slick salesmen. I love see this bottle, Jill? There's nothing in it, but it's a magic elixir. Like, all these salesmen just love.
Joe's giving a pass to Rob Pelinka.
It's a pass.
I'm not giving him a pass.
It's a total pass.
We're just gonna say
we
have to give him credit when he does do something right.
You're giving him a total pass.
You have repeatedly said that you don't care what happened before February 1st. All you care about is one transaction that went really well, that Rob Pelinka helped
really well. He shifted an era of basketball. We haven't.
Not if you don't build a team around the guy. If you don't build a team around the guy,
you're gonna get it. You just sold the team to the best ownership in sports.
Boy, if I heard that, if I had
she just sold the team to the best owner in sports. What do you want her to do? What more do you want her to do? They've done everything
now. Build the team now.
Build a team with what? Austin Reeves as a carrot? They don't have anything. You got to wait. I told you this how many times?
5 pick swaps, 2 first-rounders, Austin Reeves expiring salary, Rui Hashimura expiring salary, 2 more expiring salaries, totaling to over $50 million.
Who the hell wants Kleber and Gabe Vincent?
The teams that want to have cap space.
And who's going to get rid of good players that have big contracts that are left? You name them for me. Go ahead.
Who's going to have what?
Go ahead. Tell me who. Who is out there that has actual talent that they want to get rid of the contract? Who? You got backup centers that are making almost $10 million a year now.
Intel Wild says, "Let me lighten the mood with a joke."
I'm telling you right now, this has nothing to do with positivity. It doesn't have anything to do with wiping everybody's ass.
Yeah, but the fact is, you're revealing all the mistakes that Rob has made.
Who gives a shit what happened before?
See, there you go.
Yeah, exactly.
You just reiterated my point.
That's Gerald's whole point right there. You just made his point for him. Thank you, Joe.
I feel vindicated once again.
What the hell are you idiots talking about?
The fact
vindicated is, what?
You're
an idiot.
Vindicated what I said. I just said you didn't care about anything before that was done before by Rob before February 1st.
It has something to do with not caring. It's who gives a shit. It's over. Get on with it.
That's exactly what Gerald
said. They're still playing on the team. The decisions he's made are still on the team, Joe. Just because you made one trade and you got one player. Thank you for subscribing. Because you got one player on one team who happens to be your superstar. If you don't build around that superstar, you don't win championships.
Gerald, exactly. Thank you very much. And a lot of people don't understand this. When you
obviously
date, no, obviously not. When you date a 10, guess what? You have to keep up with the 10 standards.
Oh God, spare me the bullshit, man. Look,
well, you wouldn't know a 10 if it bit you in the ass.
How do you know?
All right. This is getting a little personal. Intel Wild says, "Let me lighten the mood with a joke." Guys, what do you call a sick eagle? So I don't know. What do you call a sick eagle, Intel Wild? But thank you for the super chat. nonetheless. Again, we have a difference of opinion. It's fairly clear to say that, and illegal. Oh, okay. There you go.
A what?
Intel. Illegal. Get it? Eagle. A sick eagle. Illegal. Yeah, it's yeah.
Penny Youngman, everybody.
Ty Church says Ayton will be a Laker tomorrow. But then get Ty Church. Let me ask you this, Ty, and everybody out there that are clinging their hopes on to DeAndre Ayton becoming our center for the short-term future of the Los Angeles Lakers. How good really is DeAndre Ayton? Again, he came into this NBA with a whole bunch of promise as the number one draft pick. Has he fulfilled that promise? Can he or will he fulfill that promise with the Lakers? Or is he just going to get you, 14 and 10, 14 and 10, 14 and 10, which is fine. It's not bad. But obviously the Lakers need a little bit more of that to keep up with what is essentially an arms race right now in the Western Conference. And if you guys look on the Eastern Conference, some teams are loading up as well. That's what I'm concerned with. The fact is that the Lakers are punting or thinking about punting a season. If you read the reports and saying that they're looking towards 2026, Joe, 2027, Joe, yes, waiting for Mark Walter, waiting for that magical day, but they don't have Luka yet locked down to a long-term deal. Yes, your day will come when you will do backflips when LeBron leaves out the door of the Lakers facility for the final time. That will be a great day and a lot of money will free you up. Yes, but what does the Lakers do at that point in time? Will they have a decent team to still build around Luka Doncic?
Yeah, because they're going to have new ownership that we already know are good at doing that.
In the baseball world.
No, they'll be able to do it in the basketball world.
Oh, I believe you, and I'm not going to put odds against that. Seeing how the Dodgers have dominated Major League Baseball, I'm not going to argue with you on that sense. The problem is the time for a window should be now. You always talked about in previous years since I've known you is about how it irritates you and bugs you that Boston is always ahead of us in the World Championship title races. That they're always now one ahead of us again. We had tied up in 2020 and things started to look like maybe we could go ahead and pull ahead of our own. I want to you see the Lord of the Rings shirt. This is the Lord of the Rings shirt. I would love to have a shirt made that says Lord of the Rings and the Lakers have the most rings. I would love to have the opportunity to make a shirt like that. But the thing is, you, Joe, one of the things that I was so impressed with and so grateful for was your impassioned hatred for and disdain for the fact that Boston is one ahead of the Lakers. And while Boston is now down, they're now hurting for the count. They've got an 8 count right now because of what happened with Tatum. Now is the time a smart team and a good team acts upon that and trying to see if they can win a championship to tie and maybe pass before Tatum gets fully healthy, Joe. That's my point I'm trying to make.
You are not going. You're not being realistic in thinking that a 41-year-old man who's taking up a third of your salary cap is going to put you in a position where you're going to be able to be flexible enough or have enough assets to do what you need to do, or enough young talent to do what you're doing. The reality of this is there's 9 months. Once the season starts, there's 9 months at the very least that's left before you can actually start really doing things like you're saying. So I'm not going to sit here and say let's wait for Rob to create a miracle. Maybe he will, maybe he won't. But I don't. It's not being realistic to think that he's going to do that based off the current structure of the team. The reason why I want LeBron gone isn't because I hate LeBron. It's because it's not conducive to winning. And on top of that, he has a habit of saying things that doesn't make things better. He's not a leader. He doesn't put his head down and just do what needs to be done for the team. There always has to be some individualistic thing where he has to go send one of his guys out and say something, or now his wife is saying shit. And that's the distraction that a championship team doesn't need. Now let's look at Boston as an example. They do everything right, and it still took everything they could, and everything had to be laid out perfectly last year for them to win it all. So that plays a part in all this. Now, what's changed in the last 6 months is the Lakers avoided the void. We were talking about how I didn't know how the hell they were going to get out of this Anthony Davis thing. Every month that guy played, his value dropped. And they were able to turn Anthony Davis into Luka Doncic, which was an absolute miracle of all miracles. And then on top of that, 5.5 months later, we get the news break that Mark Walter and the Guggenheims are going to take over majority ownership of the Lakers. That's it, guys. Everything got done. Everything got done. Now you got to wait for this thing to finish so that they can start getting down to what needs to get done, and they're going to get it done. So I'm not worried about Rob Pelinka and what he does now or what's going to happen in 2026 because it's just I have wishful thinking that they can make one last run, but I had that thought process last year, and we saw how that turned out. But I'm not going to put all my chips in this. It's not realistic. And you already heard this from Stone Hansen earlier today. This is not going to be a competitive year. Even if you do get a DeAndre Ayton, that's not going to guarantee you anything. Now, if you can trade Austin Reeves for someone better than Austin Reeves, then you're probably talking about something there. But who, what player out there is better than Austin Reeves who's going to trade that player to LA for Austin Reeves and without, letting go of all the assets, draft assets or whatever it is that they have they have to throw out there?
Sean, did you want to go ahead and say anything in rebuttal?
Not really. It's the same tripe I'm used to, but this current predicament we're in. It's the same talk. It's the same. Over. It's the same talking points.
It's
just forward, backwards, sideways. Oh, thank you for interrupting me. I didn't interrupt you while you were speaking. I'm just doing what
Sean Grice does well.
Come on, guys. Come on. Let's just keep it. Keep it light. Go ahead.
I'm here to cause havoc.
Come on. You guys are brothers. You guys have called each other brothers on the air. Brothers fight.
Brothers fight. And they fist fight sometimes too. But he's in Canada. I can't do that right now.
Yes. Well, I'm thinking I'd like to
be a long jab.
Take you outside and just.
I just think, Joe, when it comes right down to it, Sean and I are frustrated because we see a chance at coming off of a third place in the Western Conference, coming off of a 50-win team, coming off the fact that we did get Luka. We have the ability to go ahead and do things in order to make this team better to win now. And when you tell us this, and when Stone tells us that this is going to be a gap year, for lack of a better term, that's really hard for passionate Laker fans to understand. Gap years sometimes lead into more gap years, sometimes lead into more gap years. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer to get out of that cycle. Now, OKC has the blueprint on how to do it right and how to do it quickly, because they went from the bubble, they were a playoff team, to going ahead and in tank mode, but built up to the point where by the halfway through the decade, they were a world championship team. So obviously that's the optimal way to do it. But with the Lakers obviously not having as many of those assets, you have to be understanding of what they can do with what little assets they have. But they have things that they could do or could have done in the past 2 weeks to make this team substantially better. That's what I think Magic Man and I are trying to say. Go ahead, Sean. Your mic, I think, went out. It shows that it's on, but it's. I think maybe you shouted at Joe Tular. So, go ahead. No, you're still out. You might have to come back in, come back out on that. So, yeah, because I could. Yeah, there you go. He's going to come back in, come back out. Joe, again, that's I think, where we stand. That's why I sense the frustration from Lakers fans. That's why Empire Jeff was basically, doing his show tonight to defend Rob Pelinka from passionate Lakers fans that think the Lakers can do something sooner rather than later. Sean, are you okay with this now?
I think so, Gerald.
Yes, you're good. Go ahead, my
Okay.
friend.
Yeah, Gerald. And it's not just that. It's a little bit of history repeating over and over again with him. It's he doesn't learn from his mistakes. I thought I tried vocalizing that with the just as an example with the Brooke Lopez exit. All right. It's hard enough to put the pieces in place, but then you have to make sure that the puzzle pieces you're inserting actually fit. And the fit hasn't been there with him. He tried to fit THT. How'd that work out? He tried it. My God. We could go over and over again with this guy and what he thought was a 3-and-D player or a wing over and over again. Wayne Ellington. Yeah, let's not delve into the lack of awareness that Pelinka has about building puzzle pieces for a championship team. He got lucky with Caruso. He wasn't even involved originally with the Caruso signing. That was the player development and scouting of the Lakers, not Pelinka. He gets credit for KCP, but he signed KCP when the Lakers had a down year, and KCP stuck around with the Lakers. Dwight Howard and JaVale McGee, Gerald, that was a situation where you thought that two veteran guys would work out, and they bonded in the locker room. Pelinka gets credit for a lot of stuff that he didn't put together. He got lucky on a lot of those moves, too. Why don't we just be honest about that as well?
Intel Wild saying, so even though Austin doesn't make a lot of money, you're telling the other team is give us 2 firsts with an average player. Well, again, it's how you see Austin Reeves as. Some people see as Austin Reeves, like Joe and I have commented in the past, as far as a 6th man on a championship team. Other people see him as a 25-5 player who can make a better contribution onto their team. It's a beauty in the eye of the beholder. Jake LaRavia is a prime example. The Lakers obviously value him enough to offer him 2 years, $12 million. Sacramento could have had every opportunity to keep him. Why didn't they? Why didn't Sacramento keep him? Memphis could have had every opportunity to keep him last season. Why did they trade him? He was shooting 44% for them from behind the arc. Why would you let go of 44% from behind the arc shooter in a league starved for 3-point shooting? There are things there. It's beauty in the eye of the beholder. So again, there are a lot of teams that are really high on Austin, I'm sure. And again, it's how you perceive it. But I do think, again, you could have got more assets leading up to the draft. I think that time, the window that you could get the most up for Austin has come and went. I think you could have gotten a player and a pick for Austin in last week's draft. But again, I feel that time window has come by, but you can still get other things from him. You just want to see activity, Joe. You just want to see that Rob cares about the short-term future for the Lakers, but it's clearly evident that he's focusing on the long-term future, even though the odds are, Joe, and I know you would put money on it, that he won't be a part of it.
Well, the Lakers operate in a tent. They don't have the resources. That's why she sold the team to a company that has unlimited resources. And that's it. That's not a secret. As far as AR is concerned, every indication from not the internet where a bunch of morons are talking that don't know shit or have any common sense, because all they're concerned about is clicks. There's no indication out of LA that they don't want Austin to be a part of this next run. It's all pointing to the fact that they want him to be here. It's gonna take a Giannis and someone of that ilk for them to go, sorry, Austin, we got to go get that guy. They're not going to go trade Austin for Herb Williams, Herb Jones, Herb Smith, whoever, or Missy or whatever.
I hope it wouldn't be Herb Williams. He's slightly retired, Joe. He's slightly retired.
Throwing.
Then that means like I look. I get it. But you know, Stone is also not a cap expert. And let me tell you something right now: the Lakers are going to have to make a decision, just like the Boston Celtics had to make a decision. You're keeping Austin Reeves, then that means Rui Hachimura is going out the door. And if you're trading a top 3 wide open 3-point shooter, guess what? The second you trade him to a team, it's going to be like sharks in the water with blood. They're going to be contenders all over the place, especially in the West, who are going to be trading for Rui Hachimura. I guarantee that right now. The second the Lakers trade him to a team, there will be Western Conference contenders ready to acquire him.
Joe?
No comment.
Again, our argument stems from the fact that we think there are things the Lakers could do now, but it's obvious their intentions are not to do a whole lot now because of what they want to save for the future. And I understand that future aligns with what you're talking about, Joe, because when Mark Walter takes over the team, as you've said, Rob Pelinka, in your opinion, is dead man walking. But for us here and now as Lakers fans, we're always looking to get championships. We're always trying to see if we're at a championship level. In order to do so, we need to field a team out there.
You're criticizing. You're criticizing. Basically, what you guys are doing is you're criticizing. I'm going to put this as this comparison as easily as I can. You're criticizing someone with no legs for not running fast enough.
It's a horrible.
But he's had legs for 5 years.
It's a horrible analogy.
You do know the resources that are put to this, right? We've been joking about it for months. You know why Clutch is involved so much? Because it's one less people they have to pay to do shit for them.
I understand as far as the personnel that they
so
have.
Until that's gone, you guys can sit there, pick your noses, pick your rear ends, yap about whatever Rob can do or can't do. He doesn't have the resources to do what you want him to do. And Jeannie did us all a favor. The Buss family, again, after 11 championships in the greatest ownership tenure that I've ever seen, I can probably put George Steinbrenner's era too in there a little bit. Other than those two, no one has had a better ownership tenure than the Buss family. And even through all that, all the hate, all the BS, look, she finally said it's time. It's time to do what this team needs because she loves the team that much. And now you have the best owner in sports that's going to be taking over in October. And Sean's going to sit there and is going to have to soak in it and deal with it and learn from it. And there's nothing he can do about it. You can smile all you want.
The Lakers organization.
I'm more confused than anything else, Joe. But I will say this. I mean, Jeannie Buss wasn't the one to hand Jared Vanderbilt $11 million a year contract, Joe. That was Rob Pelinka. Correct, Gerald?
That is correct.
Jeannie Buss also wasn't the one who put a contract in front of THT that was for $9 million a year. Correct, Gerald?
And also with Alex Caruso saying he would take a hometown discount. That is correct. He also was the one that had the final say on who the Lakers would draft in the JHS draft. Is that correct?
That is correct. So he drafted JHS. So as much as a lot of people want to blame LeBron James for this current predicament, LeBron also is not the GM. He didn't give Jared Vanderbilt, Gabe Vincent those contracts. He didn't draft JHS. That was all Rob Pelinka.
And you guys ask, okay, I understand the Lakers organization does not have the employee staff that most other teams have. But the thing is, on the marquee, there's still an NBA. Certain things. The Lakers did do enough certain things right to win a championship in 2020. And by the way, thank you for subscribing. I didn't think I catch that, but I caught it. Thank you for subscribing. It's like you guys make excuses when they win, and now that you make excuses when they're not winning. Again, doesn't matter if you have 10 people in the building or 100. Do you have the right people in place? And if you don't, make things happen to make changes happen. There's years of Rob Pelinka transactions and evaluations that you, Sean, and I have said that's been good and said that has not been good over the course of the years. Rob is not the worst GM in the NBA, but is he? If he's not, I think you answered the question on whether or not Rob should stay GM going forward. Now, if he has the directive by Genie sit on cash, we want to go ahead and open it up for 2026 and 27. Ultimately, that's something he needs to correlate out there to the public so that we constantly don't have to worry about why we're not getting the players we should be getting. Go ahead, Magic Man.
Absolutely, Gerald. And we've kind of seen this summer. Look, there are 3 guys right now who could instantly help the Lakers defense. Cody Martin, Trey Mann, or who the Bucks just gave up. Oh, I can't believe it.
Trey Mann re-signed with Charlotte.
Ryan, okay, excuse me, I didn't see that. Or Ryan Rollins, Gerald, for the Bucks had just to rescind him. This guy's 6'4", 22 years old, Gerald. He's a great point of attack defender. Somebody the Lakers could use. And is Rob Pelinka out there signing him right now for the biannual? Nope. It's just an illustration. It's just an illustration. What we're saying is, and what I'm saying is, he doesn't pay attention to doing the job. You have to pay attention to the waiver wire. He's at Disneyland. He doesn't do that. It's literally been known. He doesn't check the waiver wire. These are basic applications for a job that Pelinka just doesn't do. It's beyond frustrating when you don't even do your fucking basics.
Now, again, if he has the directive not to spend money or not to waste resources to try and keep 26 and 27 open, don't let Rich Paul make that statement for you. Say it on your own. Say it right out so the people out there, the fans, can understand this and not have this level of frustration. I saw on Empire Jeff's TV show earlier, please like and subscribe to his channel, the frustration that many of the fans in the chat were talking about. Joe, many of the fans in this chat right now, we're over 130 strong right now, and thank you again for watching. I sense that same frustration because when you win 17 world championships, you and I have discussed this before. You've said this before. When you have won 17 world championships, you have that level of expectation. And now we get to see Joe there. Nice hat, by the way. There's that level of expectation as an organization that you have. Boston, I think the fans of Boston right now are forgiving, but at what point do they start become frustrated if they don't start winning titles once again? When you win so many titles, Joe, there's that level of expectations fans have that the Lakers or the Celtics, in this case, they understand what happened with the Celtics because of what happened with Tatum, that the Lakers should be trying to do every year what we hope that they are trying to do is build a team that can have a chance for a title.
The title, interesting subject with okay, let me clear this up real quick. there's a couple things with. I'm gonna talk about LeBron real quick. This is.
Oh, you just turned yourself off. You just turned yourself off, Joe.
Sorry. Go ahead. Okay. Sorry.
There you go. You got it. You're
So.
good.
My issue with LeBron, and this is not just my issue. This has been a LeBron issue his entire career. He talks about I don't even know how to phrase this. He talks too much, whether it's him or through things, and he contradicts himself too much. You talk about he talks about why ring culture is so important and why it's so important. Yet he is the poster boy of leaving Cleveland to go ring chase. Right or wrong, I don't care whether you think he was right or wrong on that. I'm on record to say no one was going to Cleveland. He went to Miami because he wanted to win. He was still the MVP in Miami. It wasn't like he went over there to go play with Wilt Chamberlain in his prime. So when you have a distraction like that, and then you have his group who work with the LA Lakers because the LA Lakers don't have the resources to pay people to do the things that you all want them to do, or at least help them do what they want to do. This is the result. And then the end result, too, is Genie probably finally, I know a lot of it was kind of tied to money and lineage and not being able to transfer money and all that. I know that played a factor in it, but I think at the same time, it was timing for everything for this to happen. She's way in over her head. She's not going to be able to compete with these billionaires, especially with this lousy piece of shit collective bargaining agreement. It's even worse. I mean, that should be the criticism we should be on right now more than anything. That deal what really, really took a nice dump on the NBA. It killed their free agency. It killed their trade deadline excitement. Like, I don't understand what the hell he was thinking. As competitive as the finals were, who the hell was watching Oklahoma City and Indiana? No one gives a shit about Oklahoma City and Indiana. And I said this before, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is not a household name, no matter how good he is. This is about stars. Mike Malone got mad when Denver won a title because they kept talking about the Lakers then, right? You all remember that, right? Of course they're going to talk about the Lakers. They have LeBron James. He's the face of the league. Still the face of the league. Now, part of my irritation with LeBron is he talks too much. And most of the time when he talks, he's full of shit. He's not informed correctly. He goes by his feelings, acting like he knows what he's talking about. Now, as far as my concern with the Lakers is, you're paying him LeBron 2018 money in 2025, 26. And I'm not saying he should have taken a pay cut. That's none of my business. I don't care that he took a pay cut or not. That's not back to the reality of things. What's he going to take a pay cut for? You guys do know how the CBA works, right? They're still going to be over the cap, even if he had taken a pay cut, a considerable one. So by saying I want LeBron out, it's not just LeBron James and the things I don't like about him. It's everything. It's this headache that you guys are talking about, not being able to get certain players. This guy's not working. He's not doing this. Well, he's not doing it because, number one, maybe he's not good enough. The other is he doesn't have enough help. The other thing is he's dealing with players and their management and their agents. Then he's dealing with an owner that is incapable of keeping this thing where it needs to go so you are competitive year in and year out.
Oof, Madon, we can't do anything right now.
We're talking about someone who owns what will be a $12 billion franchise in terms of worth that was getting a PPP loan.
Oof, Madon.
Think about that for a second. My cousin, who owns a small business, got that. She owns the LA Lakers. this is all going to go away, and then you guys are going to sit there and you're finally going to relax a little bit. You're going to see some real people do some real things. That's really where my head is. And you guys damn well know, because you heard me say this before it became popular this week, especially you, Grice. What the fuck did I say last month? What did I say? I'm the first one.
You say a lot of things. You say
I'm
a lot
the
of
first one to
things.
tell you this shit. Didn't I say 2027? Didn't I say 2027 before it became famous? Before all those hacks that you guys watch on YouTube and X and all those toilet social media garbage shit, all of a sudden now they're yapping about it.
Okay, so
I told you this shit before anybody else knew.
So if anybody has seen Entourage, the great Andrew Dice Clay had a great role in that. And Joe just sounded like Dice just now. Didn't I say he's going to practice? Didn't I say? Relax, Dad.
That's not the first time I've been compared to Dice, by the way. That's been a 30-year comparison. But the important thing here is,
didn't I say?
It should let you know. And we had what do we have? 145 people on right now? 150?
Awesome. Thank you.
Some of you are catching us at the right time, and usually it's around this time. Laker basketball, Laker podcast. This is prime time right now. If this is the first time you're watching us, this is not your mammy and your daddy's podcast. We're not schleppers. Well, Grice can be a schlepper every now and then, but that's
by the way, Grice, Alan was asking you a question on De'Anthony Melton in the chat when you get a chance.
I'll finish and then I'll let him talk to him. We're here because we have a sixth sense for things, because we do have knowledge in this thing. We do have common sense. And we do have some avenues to find out some real information. And we don't clickbait. Go ahead and look at our shit. We're not sitting there with a picture like this saying, are the Lakers going to move to the NFL?
If I put that on the JPEG, I'll get like a million people going to somewhere else.
This is about entertainment, right? We want to be entertained with information. And that's what this is. It's entertainment, and damn well as close to the right information as we can possibly get. We'll have our opinions, but the opinion is based off of 30 plus years of watching this shit, and definitely watching 82 games a year of our favorite team, plus playoffs, plus the summer league, plus preseason. At what point are you going to go anywhere else than those who are actually watching what's going on? The new era is coming. The new era is coming. I'm going to say I'll say one more thing. The new era is coming. My excitement has been tapered down. I'm more excited than I've shown on the shows, because the new sheriffs are coming. And these are the best sheriffs you'll ever have in sports. And they've already proved it. And they've proved it for years. So whatever Rob does now, you all worried about Luka not sign, like, get with it, man. Get with it. February 1, the Lakers organization said, we're going to change this now. And they did. They got a budding superstar in his prime who is going to be there for the next 6 to 7 to 8 years. And now that the new ownership is going to be coming in, and the ownership that is coming in, you damn well better believe this is going to be a multi-championship run with one of the best players of this era about to hit his prime, if he's not already in his prime.
Define soon, Alan. That's the point. We all know that once Mark Walter comes and gets the approval from the other owners and goes through that process, the valuation is made, Sean. We all understand that Rob Pelinka, or actually Mark Walter, will get his team in there. Whether it's a slow transition or whether it's a quick one, we understand that's probably going to happen. But we heard Jeannie Buss is going to stay the governor for years to come. That famous tweet by Ramona Shelburne at the time that the sale was made. If that's the case, Rob Pelinka has always been her guy. The Lakers, 9 yards. When it comes right down to it, he is still in charge of the basketball operations at this point. And again, despite the Luka Doncic trade, there is still 12, 13, 14 players you still have to set around him in order to get the team to do it, Sean.
Gerald, you were kind of cutting in and out there. What can you repeat the question?
I'll just say again, is Rob Pelinka the GM that can keep this team in contention for a championship moving forward? Or are you looking somewhere else that Mark Walter may be doing so when he takes over?
I'd be looking somewhere else.
Okay.
Because he is.
You don't see him as a top 15 GM in the league.
I do not. I do not.
So then why are so many people like Joe, like Empire Jeff, often giving passes to Rob for the Luka trade if you and other people don't think, including myself, don't think he's a top 15 GM in the league?
Because the cult of personality wins out, Gerald. And he's charming. And a lot of snake oil salesmen can charm you into just about anything. And I think that's what he does. That's what his job is. That is what he's best at. He's best at looking you square in the eye, lying in your face, and getting the best deal possible for him and his, Gerald. And I don't understand why people like this just continually get a pass in life. I see it every day. I see it every day. And it doesn't matter how inadequate, how incompetent somebody like that is. If you're good looking, charming, you can fall ass backwards, ass forward into successful positions, Gerald. Because there is no evidence. There was nothing to suggest that he would be a good executive in the NBA.
And JY says, does this panel think that Jeannie remaining governor, Joe, assure Rob's job safety for the rest of his contract? And once again, Intel, yes, it's something Joe and I have covered and Sean has covered quite frequently. Back year or two ago was when we talked frequently about the PPP loan that the Lakers tried to get back in 2020 during COVID. But let's get back to Joe. I mean, do you think having Jeannie as your governor moving forward, which is what was said at that time, is going to ensure this job safety of Rob Pelinka throughout the rest of his contract?
I have a hard time believing somebody's going to pay $10 to $12 billion to not have their own people in there.
I agree.
If Jeannie wants to continue to be governor, what does that really mean? Maybe she's just a face, like Magic is a face for the Dodgers. Magic makes zero decision making in personnel. If Jeannie wants the title of governor,
look, what's she really doing? It's an emissary role. It's an ambassador role. That's what she is. She's just going to be an ambassador for the Lakers. She's not the majority ownership. The NBA Board of Governors is for all 30 representatives to be there. Her role now is just an emissary, Gerald. She's just there as a face. She has no consequential decision making. None.
Well, when the ownership change takes officially place later this year, that's good. As of now, she still has controlling interest of what goes on with the Lakers until that change happens. So we will look forward to that day happening, because right now it does not seem that the Lakers do have that sense of urgency to build a platform for Luka and LeBron now. So let me ask you this before we get back to any additional free agent signings or whatnot, Joe. Does the situation with LeBron and the Lakers get any uglier? I know you laughed at us and you scoffed at us when we talked about the possibility of buyouts, trades, etc. Do you see this thing being cordial for a year, or do you see this thing being a little bit messier, a little bit more backhanded compliments, a little bit more passive aggressiveness before he has on out of the door? And before I give it to you, Intel Wild was asking you for shots earlier.
Yeah, I know. I got to go get shot glasses. There's no more. There isn't more of irrelevancy than Clutch and LeBron being unhappy. I'll wipe my ass with their happiness or dissatisfaction. They're in this predicament because they played a big part too with Rob and Jeannie in fucking this thing up in 2022. They panicked. They all panicked when James Harden went to Brooklyn. And then they went and got Russell Westbrook to form their own big three to combat what Brooklyn was putting together. And that's why you can't have more than one chief in the tribe. So I'll give you some pointers here. The hierarchy is Mark Walter and the Guggenheims. They own, right? Stan Kasten with the Dodgers is the president. However, Andrew Friedman makes the decisions on personnel. He goes, can we pay him this, Stan? Yeah, we can pay him that. Okay, go make it happen. They don't get in the way. Mark Walter doesn't get in the way. Stan Kasten doesn't get in the way. All Andrew does is, can we pay him this, guys? Yeah, we can pay him this. Cool. Instead, the way the Lakers work, they got Kurt Rambis, his second cousin, his wife, maybe his kids. Then you got Joey Buss. Then you got Joey Buss's probably drinking buddy. Then you have that idiot that before then, Jim Buss and his bartender friend. You have Jeannie. You have Rob and whatever lackeys they have. It's like, dude, what the fuck is this? Is this a real business? It wasn't. And it makes sense, doesn't it, guys? When did Dr. Buss pass away? 2012, 2014? So since Dr. Buss has been gone, this team, when you look at it as a whole, has not done very well. Nah, it's hard to throw too much shade on him for that. Kobe was done in 16, and they had to rebuild, and they didn't prepare for it. Why? Because you had an idiot brother running things. Well, they fixed that. They got rid of him, and then they were able to get LeBron. Then they got AD. Then they won a championship. Then they had 1 year where it was unfortunate that they got a major injury, and then they panicked. And here we are. But those days are gone. They made up for it with some things recently. Number one, getting Luka. Number two, finally understanding their inadequacies and selling the team to the best ownership in sports. So what do you want me to say this summer about DeAndre Ayton and whether Rob Pelinka can go get Brooke Lopez? I'm supposed to sit here and get angry at Rob Pelinka because he didn't get us Brooke Lopez? Or they didn't sign a 32-year-old Dorian Finney-Smith, whom they gave a 2-year contract for. And he said, no, I'm going to Houston with a 4-year contract. Okay. There's nothing we can do. You're not worth that money for 4 years. And then if they had done it, then you'd be bitching and whining like we whine about the Vanderbilt signing. Oh, why did they sign Vanderbilt? What, you all didn't know he was going to suck? You can't have it both ways. You can't. So whatever happens tomorrow, and by the way, it'll be epic either way. And when I get out of my own head and my own fandom of my team and just want the entertainment, there's that little bit of me wanting tomorrow to not work out for the DeAndre Ayton thing. I just want to see the bitching and whining for the entertainment purpose. What happens if DeAndre Ayton signs with the Golden State Warriors?
Or Indiana Pacers?
I think he's going to want to showcase in a larger area so that he can get what he wants.
Okay.
Because Indiana's out. Without Tyrese there, that team is not going to be competitive for a title, at least with Golden State and LA. You have the huge stages. You have Steph Curry, you have LeBron, you have Luka, and a few things could go their way where those guys can go deep into the playoffs. I think Indiana's toast next year, especially with the fact that they're missing their main guy, and also now they're going to be the hunted. And usually when you're the hunted the following year, it becomes a little bit harder to compete. But anyways, point is, you guys, and I say you guys as in the fandom, you all got to ride this wave a little bit longer. Don't jump off yet, no matter what happens tomorrow or Thursday or Friday. And I do believe, and somewhat common sense know, that the Lakers are working on trades that could play a factor in why they're not committing to anything yet. Let it play out. This has nothing to do with whether I like Pelinka or not. It's just let this thing play out. It's not as easy as Houston getting what they want. They had cap space. They had money. They were able to get somebody that was interested in coming to them. Durant wasn't going anywhere but Houston. So it made it easier, right? Imagine if Giannis tomorrow says, I want to go to L.A. He's going to L.A. They'll find a way, even if it takes 4 teams. So let it play out. For Sharon B's peace of mind, she wants some positive stuff, guys. Let's do her a favor.
Well, if he asks to be traded, Sharon, the Lakers can go ahead and trade him. Which, again, if the Lakers hover around 500, if they don't have the season in one of his final seasons or season, he may want out.
Hey, Ray Joe, why are you just writing that just to write it?
Let me ask you this, Joe, and then I'll get it back to you, Sean, because I asked you the question, Sean, of what you thought of DeAndre Ayton, who, again, probably will be making his decision sometime tomorrow. I believe that he clears waivers at 2 p.m. Pacific, if I'm not mistaken. Joe, what do you classify DeAndre Ayton as? Because you obviously know he was the number 1 pick in the Luka draft. Is he a draft success, a draft disappointment, or a draft bust?
He is the Larry Hughes of centers in my time of watching basketball. Larry Hughes was a good player, had skills, but cared about himself and his money. That was it. Which is fine. If money's the motivating factor, cool. But I also do remember that DeAndre Ayton in pick and rolls in 2021 was absolutely shredding the Lakers left and right every time I saw him play.
I understand it, but you haven't answered my question. What do you see his overall career as? A disappointment?
What the hell did I just say? Didn't I say it was Larry Hughes' career?
That still does not answer specifically one of the 3 options that I pointed out to you.
I gave you an example, so it made sense.
Success.
Do you want me to say it in Swahili?
I want you to say it: success, bust, or disappointment.
Was Larry Hughes a success? He played in the league for 12 years, right? Yes, he's a success. He's not Kwame Brown.
So you're saying as a number 1 draft pick, DeAndre Ayton is a success?
2019 all rookie team is the only accolade you've ever gotten as a first overall pick. Yeah.
No, not he hasn't lived up to the first.
You're
pick.
disappointed if your first overall pick with that.
So that's what I'm trying to get at. Even if the Lakers do get him, exactly how good realistically can he really be? He's a 14-10 guy with Portland last year.
You're describing a serviceable center, Gerald, and if that's
serviceable center,
that's what we need.
That's what we need. But is it going to get us, Magic Man, to where we want to go?
It is not.
Hell of a lot better than what we had in the playoffs.
True. but it's still not going to get us to the Thunder Mountain.
Dean, I've had a kinship with Australia. I don't know what it is. Even before.
So right now, Gerald, off the top of my head, I would say that I can think of at least 4 teams in the Western Conference, even if the Lakers had DeAndre Ayton, that have 2 centers better than DeAndre Ayton. 4 teams who have 2 centers who are better than the DeAndre Ayton.
And Al Horford, that would make the Lakers older, guys. Would it make them necessarily better? It would be 81 years old or 80 years old between the forward and the center position. I mean,
I tell you what, he'll play hard, really hard. That we're not a shell of ourselves on defense, Joe. We may be bad, but we wouldn't be terrible with Al Horford out there. I know he's going to play to the hilt.
It's just not inspiring any confidence, Joe, that this team is going to be competitive at the level that I think others are seeing when Denver is loading up. And, Sean and I went back and forth last year.
Who are you going to get then?
Well, a lot of those players have come
and
gone.
Maybe we should go get Jokic.
Oh, maybe you should.
Maybe that'll make you happy.
That would make me happy. That would make a lot of people happy. That's not possible.
You guys, I swear, you have half your heads up your ass.
No, Joe, I just don't think you see the forest from the trees.
I see the fucking forest.
And you ran right into
You're
it.
asking DeAndre Ayton
ran right into
1 year.
With the truck.
You're asking DeAndre Ayton to play 1 year at what, 14 million, 8 million, 9 million, whatever that ends up being. That's fine. That's
not fine. That's not fine
compared to what you have now. You don't think if we had DeAndre Ayton in the playoffs, you don't think we would have beaten Minnesota?
Okay, so you know what? We've gone from the 99-cent store up to Walmart.
You guys have your head up your ass.
I don't think
you guys are going all over the place.
I don't think DeAndre wouldn't have allowed us to move on. No,
I don't even.
You don't think they would have beaten Minnesota with DeAndre Ayton?
No way.
No.
We had no front court. Gobert was out rebounding everyone.
That's
what we're saying.
They have this Gobert out rebound people.
DeAndre Ayton would not have made up for all that.
How? How would he have not helped?
Joe,
they wouldn't help, but they still wouldn't have won that round.
No, that's bullshit.
He's one of the most low motor.
No, I'm gonna go get it. I'm gonna go get shots. You go ahead.
He's
you
one
guys
of the most low motor centers in NBA history.
How about this?
For a number 1 overall
go get my
pick.
drink.
Minnesota.
Go get my drink.
Nas Reed would have
drink with the guys on the show. While I get my drink, you guys can talk about how you guys are trying to assemble a first All NBA team in LA in the current CBA. Yeah, bunch of fucking idiots.
Once again, it is the Lakers fast break. I know you guys love it when we get him mad, and he gets mad. But it is, of course, Joe Soro along with Magic Man Sean Grice. Thank you so much again for listening. No, Sean, I don't think DeAndre Ayton alone would have allowed us to move on to the second round. There is the little simple matter of the fact that the Lakers did not guard Anthony Edwards all that great. Mm-hmm. There is the simple fact that Randall at times dominated LeBron or whoever was trying to guard him at times. Mm-hmm. DeAndre Ayton can't guard 3 players. Yes, would he have been able to keep Gobert off the boards to a lesser extent? Yes. Would it have been an overwhelming thing as far as 4-1? No. It would have been a closer series. I'm not saying it wouldn't have been a closer series, but I still think Minnesota would have ended up beating the Lakers team still anyways with DeAndre Ayton. I still think that they needed, and still today, and thank you for subscribing, truly appreciate it, they needed more.
A lot more. Because there's no how does DeAndre
let me put it this way, one more thing. Remember when JJ played only 5 guys in the entire second half? So you're saying Ayton, a 6th guy. So you're saying that the Lakers would have been able to go ahead and stave off elimination in a 7-game series when you're only playing 6 guys in one half, assuming that
you're really expecting a guy like DeAndre Ayton who has a low motor on the best of times, Gerald, to play 40 plus minutes and defend Naz Reid and or Julius Randle. Those guys would eat him for lunch.
Let me get Joe back in here. Joe, you a little bit better now? Didn't want to make you so upset. We're sorry. We're sorry. And Roy, was only 99 degrees today because it was overcast.
Stick your sorry up your ass.
See, you can never please this guy.
Bloodhound Five Guys does make a good cheeseburger.
Yeah, the problem is you got to put a down payment on a house to eat it.
That is true. Yeah, I love the fact that I love the videos that showcase Magic Man, the hot dogs and the price of the Five Guys hot dogs. And then they compare it to the Costco hot dog at $1.50, and the Costco hot dog is larger than the Five Guys hot dog at $10. It blows people away.
$10 for a hot dog?
Salud.
How much is a Dodger dog, Joe? $12?
Yeah.
$12 for a hot dog.
Unless you buy that big 14-footer that's $30, $50.
But it's not the
wouldn't be
standard
able to
Dodger
finish
dog
that.
that it was before. It's not the standard Dodger dog that it was before, like the Costco size.
Well, what do you mean the standard Dodger dog, Joe? What do you mean?
Dodger's dog in the past.
The regular wiener.
If you go to Costco, you have, how it's
the 6-inch one.
Yeah,
that size. A little bit larger than your standard hot dog. That's what the Dodger dog used to be. And Joe says it's not that anymore. So
they got rid of the Farmer John's one. It's not a Dodger dog. Farmer John's was a Dodger dog.
Vince Scully used to do a great job selling Farmer John's, but I digress. Kaio says, seriously, AR, Rui, Gabe, and Maxi for a max player that is tradable will help us win the chip, with the rest all minimum. Delusional people just want change, and NBA should be a camaraderie type of game. I think that's what he's trying to say. So Kaio, we're not just saying one magical trade would do it. It's a series of acquisitions that have to be successful to work around Luka. And the thing is, right now, Rob, whatever it's a directive or a plan or what have you, we're obviously seeing that they're not building a sufficient team around Luka that's going to compete at a high level next season. If you were to go ahead and say right now, even with Ayton, I just don't think that the Lakers are ready to compete at that high level as of yet.
I agree, Gerald.
Intel Wild, appreciate again the super chat. Truly cannot thank you much. This chat won't get to 70 likes. I hope you guys do try to like and subscribe. I mean, we've had up to as many as 165 in the chat, and all we're asking is 70 likes. That's all Intel Wild is asking for, and I truly appreciate the super chats to try and keep that going. But Joe, again, I understand that you're seeing the pathway, the eventual goal, but it's just, I think it's hard for a lot of people when they've watched this channel for a long time and they've seen the way that you are at. They understand that the success that Dodgers has, but they also understand the success previously that the Lakers have. And just to see the Lakers going through the motions, getting a center that will be of some help, but he's not a cure-all. It just seems like it's disappointing to a lot of Lakers fans. Do you have any empathy for those fans that actually are very frustrated with what's going on right now?
Well, how about we wait till it's done before we go crazy?
That's true.
It's been 2 days, and technically no one's eligible to do anything right now. Everything's just reported. So I don't know what it's standard procedure for Laker fans, crazy Laker fans that are expecting things to happen at 12:01 every free agency. And we've talked about this how many times the last few years. The CBA has destroyed the excitement of the free agent. Why? Because they made it difficult for teams to leave now. They got supermax contracts. You have to be a rocket scientist to understand the CBA now to trade a player. Everything has to match. Everybody has to have the same hair color. Everyone has to have the same eye color to make trades. So it's difficult to get that excitement of, is Durant going to go this place because he's a free agent? Is LeBron going to go somewhere because he's a free agent? We've lost that. Now you have Brook Lopez. Where's he going to go? Nah, where's he going to go? I know he's an up-and-coming player, but no one knows who the hell he is. What happened to the big stars that were leaving? Oh, I know what happened. When the big stars leave, they get criticized for leaving, right? And when they don't leave, they're too loyal. It's like you get both idiots talking at the same time, saying two different things.
Alex Len is our starting center next season.
Alex Len is technically not a Laker anymore.
That's true. He's an unrestricted free agent, but the chat is already lining Alex Len to be re-signed by the team. I just thought I'd put that. You ought to see, guys. I understand Joe hates Twitter, but to see sometimes the sense of humor they have on certain things, especially Alex Len, there's a few memes in there that are really going to be funny. But go ahead, Joe. I'm sorry. Lakers can't re-sign. Alex said he's not my favorite, John. Not it. And you know this. He was was it you that was said that he was great at running the floor? I think, was it you, Johnny, or somebody else? Somebody was so much in love with Alex Len, Sean, that they said his greatest attribute was running the floor. Like that means something. I mean, it means great for the practice when you're doing the drills, when you're going sideline to sideline. Yeah, that's great. That's absolutely great.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. And I'm sure your O2 sats are around 100% when you're going up and down, but that doesn't mean jack shit when you can't rebound the basketball, Alex Len. Gerald, he might be the worst top 5 pick in NBA history.
And he played how many years in the league? That's the crime against humanity right there.
It's unbelievable. Between Alex Len and Robert Swift, there's a missing ingredient for the big man in basketball, Gerald.
But check out that last month. Check out those last month of shows, John. There was just someone out there. I forget who it was. I'm not sure if it was Johnny. I know he's a Sacramento Kings fan. I don't know who it was, Johnny or someone else, that was just so adamant that he said the greatest attribute for Alex Len was running the floor. And I was just like, the look on my face when I first saw that was just like, and they kept repeating it. They kept repeating it.
That sounds like something Rodell might say.
No, it wasn't. It was. Todd Packer says Alex Len slander will not be tolerated. Todd, thank you for joining us. We saved all that slander for Alex Len on that month. March, I think, was when we dedicated March, I think, was when we dedicated an entire month of Alex Len slander. But Joe, again, they'll still have more roster spaces to fill. What options outside of DeAndre? What if the DeAndre Ayton thing doesn't go well for the Lakers? What other options do they really have left?
They may have to make a trade with New Orleans for Missy. They could do the trade with Utah. And those trades might be going on anyways. They may be being discussed now anyways. So there's options. It's just a matter of which one is going to make more sense. Getting DeAndre Ayton will allow them to not have to relinquish assets in those deals. That's why it's priority one to do this now. Try to get a player that is a starting center who's got skills, who's 26, without having to give up assets. And you'll likely get the best part of DeAndre Ayton because he wants the next big contract at the end of the year.
And the one and only, okay, yes, enjoy your championship. I am not going to sit here and tell you others. I said it leading up to the championship run. And thank you, Intel. Joe, I guess you got a challenge set out to you by Intel. I put it there on the screen for you. 3 shots in 5 minutes.
Is that
That's
the
up
one I already take count as one?
I'm going to say that counts. It says go ahead and count it. And that counts. Sean, again, nobody's going to doubt OKC's future. But the thing is, the reason why you and I are so adamant on the Lakers doing something now sooner rather than later, here's number 2 for Joe. And thank you again, Intel Wild. Truly appreciate the very kind super chat. Again, that's twice in less than 24 hours. Very humbled by it. Let me ask you this, Sean. OKC, there is a window with OKC. OKC has infinite amount of resources to go ahead and replenish for years to come. But they have a lot of issues on that team. In the half-court offense, they are one injury away from really being in trouble. They are reliant on 2 players to ignite that entire offense. Just 2, Magic Man. That it should be of concern to OKC, but also to everybody out there. That's probably the reason why all these teams are loading up, Sean, because they see OKC as a great team for many years, but also as a team that you can defeat in a 7-game series. Indiana almost did it. Denver almost did it. And a lot of teams might have that confidence. That's why they're loading up right now, Sean.
100%, Gerald, and you know, it's kind of funny looking back, but now we can see why Presti was really adamant about getting a deal done with the Raptors about trying to secure Pascal Siakam. He wanted Siakam before the Pacers got him because, as you said, Gerald, he probably saw what we all see right now, but he saw it before anyone else did, and that was, I've got a great team, and they are just gazelles in transition. But when it comes to the half-court offense, Sam Presti saw the same thing, Gerald. I've got 2 guys, and that's might not be enough. So we can see it, Gerald, already. Teams are loading up. I mean, you have a team right now in it, like just as an example, right? You have Houston, Minnesota, and Denver, who right now can play 2 bigs with OKC if that's the way what they want to go, or they could play small. It's just dependent on matchups, and a lot of teams have already caught up to OKC this offseason, Gerald, except for the Lakers.
And that's the problem. I mean, the like you said, versatility, Joe. Sean said it best. The versatility that Oklahoma City, Houston, Minnesota, and to now an extent, Sean, you could say Denver with the Valanciunas trade, getting back Brown, because I think Brown will play a lot better playing under Jokic.
And Gerald, they also got Tim Hardaway Jr.
Yeah, that's
on
right.
a
Tim Hardaway
veterans
Jr.
minimum. So
To stretch the floor, absolutely. So they could field 2 bigs out there. Realistically, you could put Jokic out of the 3-point line and Valanciunas, or vice versa. If Valanciunas, you trust his 3-point jumper. So the versatility, Joe, is what we see as far as what's been created with these teams. Whether or not you want to go small,
if OKC wants to counter with Chet Holmgren, okay, I can counter with Cam Johnson. Yeah. Let's go.
Yep, absolutely. You're correct, Osmosis. They still need to do some tweaks in Denver, but the bench is infinitely better, in my opinion, than when Sean and I were arguing about it last year. I mean, their bench was just as bad as the Lakers, and the Lakers had one of the worst benches in the NBA last year, which is something that they haven't even really addressed. They've got Laravia, Joe. They got the kid that's a second rounder, but as you always say, they can't trust a second rounder to play right away.
Joe Porro, it's true that Deron Holmes will help them, but that's why they also got Jonas Valanciunas, because they can ease Deron Holmes back into conditioning. And again, it just creates a situation now where people wanna bitch and complain to me about Sean. What are the teams? Who's got better bigs than the Lakers? Denver, Minnesota, Houston, Oklahoma City, and I put the Clippers above the Lakers as well as far as centers are concerned.
I mean, any thoughts on that, Joe? By the way, thank you for taking.
Well, they found out what their deficiency was at the end of last year, with Jamal Murray being hurt, with Aaron Gordon being hurt, and Michael Porter always kind of having some kind of ailment, and losing Bruce Brown the first time, having that guy that was motivated to get his next contract, that they brought that continuity back and added some more shooters to this team, some guys that can come off the bench, some good veteran guys that know how to play in the NBA. And then now you just got to stay healthy next year and make a run. If Denver is healthy going into the playoffs, that's going to be a dangerous team, especially if Jokic is playing well.
Yep, and then Houston, one of the things.
Hey,
that
James, suck a giant dick. I don't get drunk.
Well, there was that one time that's actually on YouTube. They can look at the you admitted you were kind of blasted that one time. You said you're pretty effed up, so I'll just leave it on that. But yeah, Carter Bryant again. They made some good moves in Denver. Go ahead, Sean.
No, I was just gonna say, Joe received the response.
Yes, he did indeed. Thank you again, super chat. Truly appreciate it. Intel, James. Well, James was saying nastier things to Joe earlier in the show.
See, I don't like that. I don't like that kind of talk. I don't like that kind of talk.
He's just trying to spark something from Joe. You know that, Sean. He's just trying to spark some things. Yeah. So, but some of them got erased when he was timed out. I know he's timed out earlier by one of our mods. Thank you, mods.
Let the bitch talk. Don't time him out.
Well, again, Xbox and
ignore your comments.
Course, baby,
you're pulling the reverse psychology on me now?
Yes.
Is that what you're trying to do, James?
Again, these
I bet
teams
you
are
wiped
loaded.
your ass barehanded before you came on here.
I'll just say this again.
What do you know about me, James? What do you know about fragile ego?
Fragile ego.
Yeah, fragile ego.
The Lakers fast break went into Dr. Phil territory.
Yeah,
it's a new one.
Dr. Phil, you got a fragile ego. You have problems. I don't have problems.
Meanwhile, he's really a psychologist, ladies and gentlemen. Not a real doctor. Not a real doctor.
Better than Facebook and YouTube psychologists. The best. These guys do actually wipe their ass barehanded because they have no idea what the hell's going on with their lives. They go online and start criticizing people for shit.
So with that, later today, we will have a decision, most likely from Deandre Ayton. Maybe something else will come up as well. We'll go ahead and see if we can react on it, and we'll go ahead and make sure we got it covered for you during the day or even at night. We'll go ahead and give a wrap up if all goes well for the Lakers, but we'll have to wait and see. Man, CP3. Well, okay. What if they get CP3 and Al Horford?
2022 revisiting.
I guess we'll have to play. I guess we'll have to play the Golden Girls theme. Sure.
It'll be the 2009 All-Star team. That's what it'll be. My God. Jeez.
That can't. I don't think
the retirement community.
I hope that doesn't happen, but we will have to wait and see. But it is, of course, the Lakers fast break. Truly appreciate everyone joining us. We're still over 100 strong, and cannot thank you enough for supporting us. Again, Intel Wild, Xbox. Truly appreciate the super chats. Xbox and Sports Baby. Xbox, Mark. You know who I got one over the other this time around for the great modding on our show. Once again, cannot thank you enough. Please like and subscribe so you can go ahead and get this banter, get our opinions, our analysis. We are
hold on. I got internet tough guys coming out of nowhere now.
Oh, you always have.
You guys know who Jose Ortiz is? Let's give him a little bit of shine here.
I've seen him on there before, Joe.
Joe, you're not a tough guy, bro. It's YouTube. Oh, Am I the one talking shit to you, or are you talking shit to me, Mr. YouTube? How do you know I'm not a tough guy?
I've seen Joe.
How
He's
do you
pretty
know
big.
I'm not a tough guy?
Joe, Gerald, I just want to say I do Joe. Okay, so Joe brought up a solid point earlier on in the show. I think it deserves a little bit of further examination. Again, I said in the past, I understand where guys like Joe and Stone are coming from as Laker fans when it comes to LeBron, especially when you consider that, Gerald, that a lot of us still remember the Dwightmare that was Dwight Howard, and um, I understand where Joe's coming from when he says, when LeBron decides to be passive aggressive, or he tries to be like cute with like, just come right out and say what moves you want to see being made instead of pussyfooting around like, oh well, if the Lakers aren't in championship mode, LeBron's going to look elsewhere. I mean, like, this is what Joe and others are talking about is, be a man here and come right out and say what moves you want to see being made.
Thank you so much again for Intel for the the latest super chat. It is truly appreciated. Go ahead, Joe. You're still hurting from the shots.
Well, it's going down. I haven't drank shots like this in a while, so it's going down a little rough.
It looks like it. It looks like it indeed. But yes, Dean, to answer your question, we usually run during the busy parts of the NBA season, or like right now during free agent season, we do run 5 to 7 shows a week. Whether it's us that you see here, sometimes it's John Costa that's here, sometimes it's Legend, Alfred Esmond, the Lakerholics. They have a weekend show they do from time to time. So we try to get you guys at least 5 to 7 shows a week during the busy times in the NBA. We'll also go ahead and have a playback so we can follow the Lakers Summer League games, whether I'm at Summer League or not. So we'll try to keep you guys invested in that as well, and we'll be on the air as much as we can, as much as you guys want us to, right here at the Lakers Fast Break. Sean, did you want to interject with anything? But today, I think it's going to be there's going to be some type of activity for the Lakers. Let's just put it that way. Can we say it's a little bit safer bet?
I mean, I'd love to change that grade of Rob Palinka's from a D to a C, Gerald. So, I mean, come up with something here. Because Jake LaRavia and nothing else. Well, I'd be free agency, not
free agency.
Gerald. That's a D.
It's a D so far in my book as well. But again, Jake LaRavia. There's differing of opinions, Joe. I mean, Stone was really high on Jake LaRavia, thinking that he's better than DFS at half the price or less than half the price. I wasn't willing to go that far, seeing what I've seen of Jake LaRavia over the course of his career. I understand that he had by far and away, his best shooting year last season. Are you sold on it? Are you convinced he's going to continue his rising success? Or do you see him reverting to the way he was back for most of his tenure in Memphis, Joe? Where he was just there. He was like,
well, his two-way skills are not very good, and that's indicative of what he got paid, right? If he was a two-way player, he would have been worth $15 million a year. I don't know the difference between him and Connect at this point. I feel like they're both kind of redundant. So does that mean that they're going to be trading Dalton Connect? Likely. I guess that would make sense if that's what they're doing. But I would have preferred to use the rookie and put that money in front court help as much as they could. At least that's what I would have done. But hopefully he turns into something good. But I don't have any feeling yet on what that would be. I just don't know enough about him, except very, very little.
Okay. All right. That's the thing. I think there's a mixed amount because I've heard varying opinions on his defense. I was not overwhelmed by his defense or what I saw as a Memphis Grizzly. Sean, I know he had a short tenure when he was traded to Sacramento, so I don't want to really base anything off of that. Johnny will probably, if he's still in our chat, will tell you whether or not that's the case. But Sacramento was so enamored that they traded for Jake LaRavia and decided not to give him an offer. It's not an outstanding money offer. It's not a big money offer. I mean, the Lakers, if Jake LaRavia flames out, they can just trade him, free up the $6 million for cap space next year, and be done with it. So it's not like it's an earth-shattering thing. But yeah, I mean, if Jake LaRavia was such a promising young player, why didn't Sacramento go out of their way to keep him?
100%, Gerald. 100%. Look, here's what happened. LaRavia had a great year for Wake Forest, and at that point in time, Wake Forest was kind of coming back up after a long run in the woods. Gerald, minus Tim Duncan, and he actually won over a lot of scouts, and that's why he was taken as a first rounder in 2022. But you're right, Gerald. He got traded. He got traded to Memphis, and they tried to give him opportune time to play, Gerald, and he couldn't stay on the floor. Either his shot wasn't falling and his defense was all right, or his defense was bad and his shot was falling, but he could not get consistent minutes in Memphis. And when Memphis had a team with Desmond Bain, Brandon Clark, Tyus Jones, Xavier Tillman, it was going to be hard for somebody to get on the floor if you're inefficient. It just but this is LaRavia. This is who he is. He'll give you a great week, and then you'll get 2 so-so weeks out of him. And like Joe said, after a month, you'd see why he's a $6 million a year player.
Absolutely. Dean, thank you so much. Truly appreciate the super chat as well. Guys have been very kind to us. Legends, there you go. Another Aussie right there. We've got Aussie on Facebook. We got our 2 mods from Australia. We got Dean, Jeremy. Joe, Australia really kind of likes what we're doing here at the Lakers Fast Break. Big shout out to our good friends in Australia.
Yeah, Australia is definitely my second country. There's just been a connection with Australia since I was a kid. For some weird reason, I've always connected with the Australians. It's a travesty that I haven't visited the country, because I think that would be the one country I would move to if I didn't want to live in America.
Boy, if we were big enough, I would say we would do that. I would say, Sean, you, Joe, and I, we would, with the guys, with the channel's help, be able to do just that.
Yeah, it's a travesty.
We'll get that point.
It's just sad that most of the people who get the attention are the clickbaiting pieces of shit that they are.
Travone, no, he did shoot 42.5% overall. 44 with Memphis, 38.5 with Sacramento. I think what concerns us is that a one-off, Sean, because the rest of his career, his previous years were 33%. So is it a sign where it's an improvement, a vast improvement over what he's doing? Is it finally just, as they say, clicked? I mean, Aaron Gordon was Aaron Gordon as far as for 12 years or 10 years plus in the league. Then all of a sudden last season, I'm a 42% shooter, I believe. And he was a 42% shooter from beyond the arc. This case, Jake LaRavia, is this something you're buying in on? Or again, has it finally clicked for Jake LaRavia at this point in time? I mean, 44 with Memphis, 38.5 with Sacramento. That's still very good. Do you see him as a consistent outside shooter at this point in this career?
No.
Okay.
No.
I have to see more is what I think you're trying to say. Because again, it's the previous years. I think that's what makes people skittish, guys. It's again, he is coming off his career best by far shooting. I'm hoping it's not an anomaly. I'm hoping it's something that the Lakers can count on. But
Jared,
as Joe says, well, I just want to say this. As Joe says, Sean, as Joe always says, the lights at crypto do have a tendency to affect our shooters. Malik Beasley, how many others, 3-point
Well,
shooters that have come in and not been able to hit that shot.
so what do we expect? So what's everybody expecting out of a guy who's averaged 20 minutes per game? He's averaged 20 minutes per game. He's averaging 20 minutes per game, everyone. And if you see the numbers, by the numbers, when his minutes go up, like most other NBA players, the shooting percentage goes down. So Jake LaRavia is a spark plug, Gerald. He comes in there. You like to see him to get hot. If he gets hot, that's great. If he's not, you have to learn to live with it. Because when I say inefficient, I just don't mean shooting the basketball. I mean, as a basketball player, can you do something like Gerald's saying? Can you do something other than shoot the basketball when things are not going your way? And he's been in several different opportunities with, by the way, better athletes. There were better. He was surrounded by better athletes in Memphis. I'm not sure about Sacramento, but than he is in LA. So it's up to him. But if you're expecting a 6'8", 235 guy to play, for his minutes to go up to 26, 27 and be efficient, that's not what's going to happen. Gerald, do you remember the constant headache that you and I both had of explaining Taurean Prince to Lakers fans?
But he shot 40% as a Laker.
Mm-hmm.
He just got a new contract for Milwaukee.
Mm-hmm. So. Yeah, he shot 40% on, around 22 to 25 minutes. He can start getting above that with Taurean Prince, and he's not shooting 40% from three, Gerald. He's shooting around 28% from three.
And progressive, again, the statistics, if you take a look at them, he shot 44% in Memphis this past season, but he was traded to Sacramento and shot 38.5. Still pretty darn good, above the league average. His previous years before that were 33% and 34%. That's what we're hoping, is that he's made a natural progression, Joe, to being a consistently good shooter from the outside, which obviously will help LeBron and help Luka. And if he can play anywhere, decent defense, guys.
Gerald, here's what I'm saying. I watch a lot of NBA basketball out there, ladies and gentlemen. Jake LaRavia was sat for Luke Kennard. So for all you out there wondering about LaRavia's defense, if you think he's a pretty good defender, then put Luke Kennard in the same category with them, because Taylor Jenkins sat LaRavia and would rather play Luke Kennard.
Well, right now, we're not going to have a choice, because DFS is not going to be out there coming off the bench. You're going to have Vando and him as the guys that are expected at the forward slot, Joe, to come off the bench to provide a lift both on the offensive and defensive ends. Well, at least not in the case of Vando, it's just defensive. But as long as he can play adequately, I'm not asking for a stopper, Joe. I'm just asking for adequately. Because I know one of the things, Dalton Connect, we really want Dalton Connect to work out. We really want him to be a consistent player in this league, but his defense is just so atrocious, Joe. It's really hard to trust him out there for any length of time. He has to work on that this summer so that he can become at least acceptable. I'm not asking for a stopper. Acceptable. Jake LaRavia and him, if they go out there and they're playing acceptable levels of defense with him and Dalton Connect, man, does that thing change? Does that change things up, Joe and Sean, to where you now have some really good shooters out there to go alongside LeBron and Luka, Joe?
There has to be a system, and there has to be a philosophy, and there has to be a desire to do those things and do them game in and game out and still provide on the offensive end. LeBron James doesn't have the ability to do that throughout an entire season. Luka is not a strong defender. LaRavia is not a strong defender. You just lost your best 1 through 5 defender. If you do acquire DeAndre Ayton, he's not known as a good defender. Don't connect. Should he stay with the team? Struggled on defense. Austin Reeves isn't a stout defender. Rui can play some defense, but not next level stuff. So, yeah. What is the philosophy? What is the identity of this Laker team once they do sign a center and maybe get another perimeter player that's here? It's just not constructed well, guys. No matter what they bring in, it'll give them a better shot at beating certain teams. But are they going to be able to beat Oklahoma City? Are they going to be able to beat Denver now and Houston? Injuries will change things. That's the theme of the parity era. By the way, this is the first time in NBA history that there's been 7 separate teams winning in a row, winning a championship in a row. This has never happened. So parity has arrived to the NBA. And I heard that the salary cap went up 10%, Sean, this year.
Yes.
Is that correct? Well,
Yes.
I'm hearing next year the salary cap's only going up 7%.
7.
Mhm.
Why is that?
It's just based on the TV contract numbers, Joe.
And it will never grow on this current arrangement. The TV is never supposed to go beyond 10%, by the way, Joe.
No matter how bad the product is, it just seems like all these leagues are immune to it. They're still going to raise the salary cap. They're still making money. You still have billionaires buying teams for 10, 12, 6, 7, $8 billion. So no matter how much bullshit you hear from idiots that just don't know really anything. Oh, the NBA sucks. I'm not watching it. Well, somebody's watching it. Somebody's putting money in this.
I think that you know what, Joe? It's interesting you say that, because I think the conventional, and Gerald, I think you should chime in here too. I think the conventional way that people used to watch television is still being used as somehow of like a baseline, Joe, and that's not true today in 2025. So when people talk about viewership ratings dipping, I think you need some context behind that, because you can't look at Michael Jordan and the Jazz in '98 to Oklahoma City and Indiana in 2025 and compare apples to apples.
I'm gonna say I still think the Lakers are still a top 10 team in the West. Where you place them is up to you. With or without DeAndre Ayton. So there's always a chance.
The WNBA is expanding into 3 cities between now and 2030. How did that happen? I thought these guys lost $1 billion last year. So I don't.
Three syllables, Joe. Kate Lynn Clark.
Look, no matter what you think is going on, this is not just NBA. 85% of the time is bullshit. Seriously, good or bad, doesn't matter. I keep hearing, oh, no one's watching the NBA yet. The salary caps are going up and up and up and up. You have Miles Turner making $25 million a year, who played like complete dog shit in the finals.
Tell you what, though, it's been a great time.
There's no accountability anymore anywhere. You suck, you're still going to get paid. Your league has shitty ratings, you're still going to make more money. Like what? I don't know what's rigged here, but something is rigged.
Again, truly appreciate you joining us. We'll find out what happens later today when the decision most likely will be made for DeAndre Ayton. Which team will he go to? Is it going to be the Lakers? Is it going to be Indiana? Is it going to be Golden State or someone else? We're going to go ahead and find that out, and then we'll report on it during the day, either tomorrow night. We'll go ahead and make sure we schedule that for you guys, unless it's something really important like a big trade. We'll go ahead and
and Gerald, about 15 minutes before somebody's going to come out with something. I'm sure she could be Sean. And Deandre Ayton intends to formally sign a contract with the Los Angeles Lakers after
all the other buyouts. All the other buyouts, you already know where they're going to. Why is it that Deandre Ayton is?
And why is this such a surprise? Yeah,
exactly. Kaio says, honestly, tell me this: should we trade most of our guys to try to win with LBJ, or realistically hold out to next year with LBJ out and a few contracts and try to win it all with a max contract? Again, I mean, the temptation is there. If you do not do anything, you can let $60 million plus come off the books next summer, but a lot of other teams will have that same or somewhat similar cap space as well. And it's not just in Washington. It's going to be quite a few teams in the league. So I don't know. I think that's why some teams are actually doing things now, Joe, because they see that next year or in 27, having a lot of cap space may not be all it's cracked up to be.
Well, that's if it was still Jeannie and Rob running the thing in 2 years, I'd be worried. Yes, there was a time where they valued that space when the Jim Buss and Mitch Kupchak era were going on, and no one wanted to come to LA. Carmelo Anthony didn't want to come. Kevin Durant didn't want to come. LaMarcus Aldridge didn't want to come because they were too busy doing videos of Spider-Man telling them to come to the Lakers. Is that what Jeannie's going to do as governor? Or is Mark Walter going to go, all right, Jeannie, show them around, show them the Larry O'Brien trophies, but we're gonna cut out the B movie guys, at least now, and their charade. We do things a little different here in the Guggenheim.
Yeah, we don't put up billboards.
We don't put up billboards begging Dwight Howard to stay.
I understand it's a good question. We have our pick next year. Is the possibility that the Lakers aren't doing anything, so they want a high draft pick?
No. They're going to compete.
If they're well, hold on. Let me just say it. If they're healthy, they're not going to be in a position where they have a great chance at a number one pick. I mean, how many times are we really going to think that a team like Dallas is going to come from so far back and get a number one pick like that? If you're really counting on that, especially with LeBron and Luka, I think LeBron and Luka makes you around a 500 team at the minimum, even in this climate right now. So if that's the case, that's really not going to give you great chances to go ahead and win the lottery. I think they will only look to tank if Luka and LeBron both get injured, Sean.
Yeah, that would be it, Gerald. That would be the break glass in case of emergency. The only one. One of them gets hurt for an extended period.
Well, great time talking to you guys. 2.5 hours we've been on the air. Truly appreciate it. Still got over 100 people in the chat. Cannot thank you enough for watching us. All the great super chats, Intel, Xbox, Dean. Truly appreciate you doing us a favor by going ahead and helping us out. It does help the channel out immensely. Sean and Joe, I'll reach for your last words right now. I'll start with you, Joe. Of course, Joe Soro. Got to go ahead and make sure you get him squared away on YouTube, also on his channel, also as well, of course, the Joe Soro experiment that SB Vari runs and Xbox runs. Sorry, Xbox. I'm sorry, Xbox and Vari run on the.
Yay! A subscriber.
Mike, appreciate you subscribing. But go ahead and follow them on Playback, but also as well, of course, his company, Blades.com, and of course, his game Corrupt. Now on sale on Steam. But any last thoughts before we do now?
My last thoughts are continue to watch our channel. The Experiment is my channel. I'm usually on at least once a week, but we will be ramping that up when the NFL season comes because we're going to be merging the NBA, baseball, and NFL here probably come September, October, which is the best time of the year. And then college football will be coming, and then hockey will be coming soon after that. So when the fall comes, we're going to have a lot of things to talk about, and we will be talking about those things as well, college basketball as well. As far as the detractors versus the supporters, that's usually that's how you know the audience is right, when you have equally the ones who like you and equally the ones that are the pests. You know you're in the right spot. And anyone who thinks that they've got a mental edge on us, yeah, good luck. Keep thinking
There
that.
you go. Sean, any last thoughts? Been great on here. I know it's really early in the morning for you. Any last thoughts, my friend? Did a great job today on the way out.
I'm about to go to bed.
There you go. Indeed. It is, of course, Magic Man Sean Grice, Joe Soro, me, Gerald Glassford. Thanks again for watching this. We'll see what happens with Deandre Ayton and the Lakers later today, and we'll go ahead and have our say. You know we will. What will happen, we don't know, but we're willing to find out, and we're willing to talk about it, as always, as part of a great Lakers show that you need to keep watching right here at the Lakers Fast Break Podcast. Thank you, everyone. Be safe. What is it now?
He's calling us girls because we're headed off air.
Joe Poro.
Shout out to our mods once again, Xbox and Vari. Great job as always, guys. Thank you, Intel, for all the super chats.